Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
Well, we're going to share a new mantra with you, as well as some other information that'll maybe bring a little clarity and insight into the depths of the mantra, and as well as just some great spiritual truths that, unfortunately, in the Western world, we don't always get right out there in the open.
Yeah, I think that's what we like to do. We like to bring a little more than what just the Western world has to offer, because that's been my journey. I always knew when I was going to church and all of these other places to try to learn new things, I always knew that there was more. So I was never satisfied. I was always needing to quench the thirst with more knowledge. So we hope to bring that to you.
Absolutely. And again, thank you for being part of this family. We want to thank our newest patrons as well.
Indeed, we want to say a huge thank you to Chelsea, Verda, and Brian.
Thank you guys so much. You help us to keep going in these times. So when we look at cells under a microscope, one of the things that hits me is, that as within, as without, as above, so below, it really is, again, the case where the microcosm and the macrocosm are reflections of each other in so many ways. It's just so magnificently laid out there by Waheguru, if we're talking the Sikh tradition, and that simply means like our great teacher, or the greatest teacher of all, which ultimately is what we would call Source or God with the big G. And so when you look at plant cells on the left or animal cells on the right, you see these individual units of being. Each one of them is unique. Each one of them is an entity unto itself. Again, looking under a microscope. This is just amazing. It's a whole new world within us. And yet, that's the truth. And that's something that's been mentioned in many traditions as a deep philosophical or religious insight. When we look at, again, the cells, they're each doing their own unique thing. They are self-contained. They are individuals, just like people. And yet we are part of a greater whole. And I think that's where we lose it. We don't understand that. We, instead of being in competition and it's survival of the fittest, well, if the cells were thinking that way, then the entirety wouldn't exist. You wouldn't have that sort of situation of a symbiotic relationship. The cells work in unison. They are individuals. Each one is a unique, it is a unique consciousness. Just like each one of us is a unique consciousness. It's our perspective that is skewed in this world as we look at ourselves as perhaps not a piece of anything in some ways. You might say, well, I guess I'm an American, or you might not even think of yourself as an American, or, from whatever country you are watching this. Again, that is very, very arbitrary, as we've talked about, because borders are always changing. And yet the Earth itself, again, is just simply a particular cell in something much, much bigger. And yet the Earth is, again, itself a unique consciousness. And it is comprised of everything that's on the Earth, in the Earth, and, in the atmosphere of the Earth as well. And so this is like one of those great mysteries that perhaps we don't delve into unless we're feeling, philosophical. And when we look out into the galaxy, we see countless stars with countless planets around them and countless entities made up of countless cells. This goes on forever because, even the vastness of our galaxy, it's just one galaxy amongst countless galaxies, and our universe, one universe among countless universes. This is the way of things.
And how do we understand all of this? Are we supposed to understand all of this? That's kind of where I head toward. I'm like, I've tried to bring all of everything in and realized we're in these human bodies, and we are definitely in somewhat of a filter for a very reason. So many of these things need to remain hidden. And I think that's so that we can search. That's for our curiosity's sake. But when we're dealing with cells, I think they're curious little things because they sit there and they vibrate inside of our bodies, and then they bounce off of each other. And then as they bounce off of each other, they exchange information because they figure out what one cell needs and the other cell doesn't need. And then they trade this information so that both cells are stronger. So if we look at ourselves that way, and when we interact with one another, whether we see the energy or not, it's definitely exchanging. And we are sending and receiving to one another that energy in which we might need.
Many years ago, twice I received a vision from Guru Nanak, and I didn't even know who he was at that time. And he is the founder of Sikhism, and here is a saying by him, or at least attributed to him: God is one, but has innumerable forms. He is the creator of all, and he himself takes on the human form. Yeah, it gets me thinking of Joan Osborne's song. Remember that old hit? What if God was one of us? A stranger on the bus, just trying to make his way home. Well, that is a reality, because don't you know John 10:34? Is it not written in your law? I said you are gods, or ye are gods. Also Psalm 82:6, you are gods. All of you are sons of the Most High. And then again, what happened with Christ Yeshua is they made him the only. But that's not the case. We're all sons and daughters of the Most High, the one source, every single one of us. And yet the same can be said for pretty much every entity that's out there. If you look closely, you'll never see a healing of Yeshua go by and somebody's saying, thank you for healing me. And he says, oh, you're welcome. I'm the only one that could do it. Just me. No, he never said that. You don't even see the revisionist Bible giving you that. No, he always says things like, your faith has healed you, or go now and sin no more. Again, sin it's just the entire focus. When we focus on the things we're doing wrong, it can keep us in a state of guilt. And guilt is not a very high vibrational frequency. So we need to instead be focused on spreading love, spreading compassion, the things that we're doing good. And we're just going to keep focusing on doing better. Again, it's the mindset of not being pulled into something that is of a lower frequency, a lower vibration. So what we're going to be learning here is very, very simple, and actually it just kind of rolls. So ang is a part. Sang is in every or with every. Wahe is the indescribable living ecstasy of infinite being. Guru is the knowledge that transforms your mind, emotion, and essence. The whole phrase basically means the infinite being, the true God, is within me and vibrates in every molecule and every cell of my being. And that is true. How could source be not in you? It's just something to which there is no answer, because source is in you. Has to be that way.
If you're animated, source is responsible.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think this is so simple and so beautiful. And with these words, there are also slight variances in how you can translate it, but that is really the ultimate gist of this. It's the fact that source is in me. Source, again, as Cindy was saying, if you are animated, source is in you. It is. And sometimes these simple truths, which, to somebody that's been down this rabbit hole, maybe in multiple lives, is just so beyond obvious, can be not seen when we are indoctrinated into a totally different set of beliefs. And we know, I mean, we see the comments out there where people are still trying to purge themselves of a very, very different belief set, which is one of, born into original sin, and, you basically, you're worthless, you're useless, you just have to, undeserving, got to throw yourself down on the mercy, No, that is absolute gaslighting. I mean, that is such a horrible mental thing to put anybody through, that it certainly does not come from the creator of all.
And if I can say, I kind of like to talk about my own journey because I think sometimes people can relate to it. But I went to a Bible study, and I really enjoyed the women there. They were absolutely wonderful, brilliant, bright, beautiful women, and I enjoyed their company. But I always felt this little sting whenever I heard someone say, that they're not worthy of something, and that just felt wrong to me. It didn't sit right, and I thought, why do you have to keep saying that? It just didn't make any sense. And then certain things that would come up and out of the Bible, it didn't sit right. And as I was waking up and I started to realize that they were talking about extraterrestrials, that so many things that were in the Bible, they were talking about different types of technology. And then when I learned further that, the Bible, the books were taken out of something else, it was harder for me to go there and continue to listen to folks put themselves down, because I knew that there was something wrong with that. And if that's where you're at, I invite you to sit and question more, because your soul is knocking at saying, hey, I need the truth, and this doesn't feel right. Please take me and search more.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't want to wallow in those negative emotions. We want to move up into a higher vibratory state. When we resonate these words, and really resonate them when you say them, try to feel them, and try to feel them also into every cell. So part of the Qigong tradition in some cases is to literally speak to your body, speak to your organs, speak to the individual cells. Send the intention in of love and healing. So if you are having issues with, say, your liver, and maybe, again, that would not be surprising in these times, as a lot of us are feeling anger over the system, anger over everything that's wrong in this world. Send love down to your liver. It's really a semi-common practice, I should say, in some Qigong traditions, to literally put a smile on your face and smile down to your liver, releasing the anger, turning it into joy. Because again, the creator is inside of you. The real creator, the source of all things, you are a part of that. So it's not like somebody created you to be a slave. No, that's obviously the controllers of the control system that we live in. No, you're far beyond that. And no being should ever be a slave to another being. If you want to be a slave to love. And serving yourself in a positive way will help you to serve others. That's another thing too. If we are truly in need of healing ourselves, how can we really start to help others heal? And yet, I could tell you firsthand myself, I've worked with so many people that are counselors, that are social workers, that are psychologists and psychiatrists, and other energy workers that have gotten overwhelmed in helping others. Because, again, they might be of the mindset that, it's a driving passion to help others. But then if we don't help ourselves and help ourselves work through our own issues, we will truly not be able to help others.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's so important that you work with your own issues and honor your emotions too. It's not like if you feel angry, you should feel bad for that. Emotions are emotions, and they are meant to be expressed. And when you're not able to express them, or you refuse to express them, that's when we run into problems. So you definitely want to honor those emotions, but try to find out where they are coming from. You can ask your higher self. You can have a talk with higher self, asking that whatever you're angry over, whatever you're hurt over, to show itself and bring resolution. And this is the talk we should all be having with ourselves, with our bodies. And it's just something that I wish they would teach it at a much younger age, because it's so much easier to work with a child than it is an adult who has been through years and years and years of complete and total trauma. But when you're working with a child and you can actually teach these things through play, that's where I think the real magic happens. But we can get there. We have to start somewhere.
Absolutely. So part of what we're doing too, when we take time to still the mind and go deep into a meditative state, is you're allowing yourself time to communicate to every cell in the body and to actually listen back and listen to what it's telling you. And often the body will respond. You might feel all of a sudden an energy surge in a particular area. And it could be you're clearing blockages in different nadis. Nadis are, again, energy veins, you could sort of say, of the body. Their energy flows very close proximity to where the blood is flowing. There are nadis that go throughout the body that can be blocked by negative emotions. So again, if you're suffering from inherent guilt of one form or another, that can definitely cause disease. Absolutely. Because again, emotions, we are emotional beings. Clearing emotions is serious work. So when you smile into yourself, when you are talking to every cell in your body, you're sending a signal of hopefully loving, positive intention for healing. So when we do this particular mantra, again, it's Ang, Sang, Wahe, Guru. Very simple. Literally translating as the dynamic living ecstasy of the universe dancing within every single cell in you. In you. So this one is asking 25 times to say to yourself, Ang, Sang, Wahe, Guru, and you could just roll through it like that. And again, it's traditional to do 108. We've talked about why 108 before numerous times, and to get yourself some mala beads, which you can get for probably $5 to $10 even on like Amazon, and just get used to running them through your fingertips every time you say this.
And also, there's a whole lot to that, with the 108. It's definitely a sacred number, and it is to match the internal universe with the external universe, and it's to connect you to the world around you.
So this excerpt's from a commentary by Guru Charan Singh, originally published in The Inner Voice. Ang is part, Sang is in every or with every, Wahe is the indescribable living ecstasy of infinite being, and Guru is the knowledge or teacher that transforms your mind, emotion, and essence. So again, the whole phrase means the infinite being, God, source, is within me and vibrates in every molecule and cell of my being. So this is a universal truth, whether we acknowledge it or not. But when we're saying it, we're tapping into an energy current. And it's an energy current that millions and millions of people have tapped into, and it's a positive energy current. So it can lift you up. And this particular one has been used as a practice for peace and to deal with the mental imbalances caused by war. Which, again, in these times, well, in any time, there's always been wars going on. Always. In the dark Kali Yuga, there has always been war going on. And war is really intentionally designed to darken souls and to cut us off from each other. So we definitely do need this. So, again, Ang, Sang, Waheguru.
Ang Sang Waheguru. If I can say it, you can say it.
Okay, so let's do it for them. For 25 times, okay? Because they're giving us an easy one. It's only 25.
25 guys. Get
So
ready.
here we go,
Here we go.
guys. Ang Sang Waheguru. 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 So I hope you guys like that one and utilize it. Check out the rest of the mantras on the playlist. See what resonates with you, and it's just really a matter of integrating them in on a regular daily basis. That'll keep our energies from falling low.
Indeed.
As always, God bless and namaste.
Namaste.